there's so many buckets. I just think it is genius for the Crash Bros to talk shadow inventory because it's this murky area. The other one is, to your point, let's talk about unemployment. Unemployment is going to spike, and it's going to create forced sellers as they look to liquidate or get foreclosed on. So there's obviously the timeline you've talked about, which is very true. But the other thing, Matt, you and I went through this last time. Banks' behavior is different. Have you guys not learned that the bank's behavior is different? I mean, how obvious? How obvious do you have to realize that the banks tried to foreclose on everybody last time and they got their clocks cleaned?
That's correct.
They just had unemployment spike to 14%. They had 4 million folks in trouble. They stuck them in forbearance, and 1%. Yes, folks, 1% of this foreclosure crisis came with 14% unemployment. So, I think banks are going to extend and pretend for folks that, have a chance. Yes, there'll be 1%, which, by the way, 1% of 4 million is like, 40,000. So again, another fart in the wind for you Crash Bros. And to Dion's point, that's 40,000 in 2025. That's 2026. So Matt, you and I went through that. Banks are acting different, right?
1,000% different. They just did it with creating a 5% down conventional product and allowing that debt to be sold to Fannie Freddie. They just did it. That was step one. What's step two? 40-year mortgage. They did it in some small and unique cases, but they can then extend and pretend on the 40-year mortgage with other clients. So at the end of the day, Zoob, you and I went through the chaos of 7, 8, 9, and 10. Chaos. And it was that. It was
I had no idea what was going on. It was
my
scary.
word. And yeah, I mean, in all honesty, that was a scary time to be an investor. That was scary.
That was scary.
Because you were just like, I mean, how much lower can this stuff go? Thankfully, we don't depend on appreciation for our market strategy. It's all about cash flow. The number of people that need houses increase in a bad time, don't decrease in a bad time.
Yeah.
And so when we look at the market and kind of what that market looked like, it took years to repair. This is what the Crash Bros don't get, and what they need to go, buy real estate crashes for dummies.
Yeah.
Buy the book and read it, because they don't understand that this stuff all takes time. And it unfolded. The worst year was 8.9% decline in pricing. Right. That was over a 5-year period, with the cumulative was about 28%. Mm-hmm. It took 5 years. 5 years, because it's coordinated. It's not a coordinated thing. It's different markets, different companies where they have a lot of concentration. Do you think, right? What happened to this big chain of bank failures that we were going to see after SVB went under? And then one other one. Where's the big chain of all these banks pulling up? They're not there. They're not there because the Fed, the government, and regulators understand the chaos that failure creates in the system, and they do everything they can to avoid it. And what have we learned from them in the last 10 years? None of them have a problem writing a check out of the federal government. Yeah. So while it might become an issue for our economy and our global standing, it still keeps the market where it's at. And now all the concerns about China and all these other places, that their economies are getting a little bit pukey and not showing anywhere near the growth. And now they're looking for the next big growth spot in India and all this other stuff. Guys, the real estate market ain't crashing. It's correcting at best. Correcting at best.